For years, the global popularity rankings of K-pop have followed a familiar rhythm. Titans rise, rookies chase, legends hold their ground. Fans argue, analysts predict, and the final list usually confirms what everyone already believes. But this time, something felt off. As the latest prestigious popularity ranking circulated across industry insiders and fan communities, two names, BTS and NJZ, better known globally as NewJeans, sparked a reaction that no one could ignore. Shock, disbelief, excitement, and even confusion rippled through social media within minutes. Because this ranking didn't just reshuffle numbers. It challenged assumptions about power, longevity, and what popularity really means in today's K-pop landscape. At first glance, it looked like just another chart update. But as fans read more closely, the weight of the moment became clear. BTS, the group that redefined global success for K-pop, appeared in a position that felt unexpected. Still dominant, still influential, but ranked in a way that suggested the ground beneath the industry was shifting. And right beside that shift stood NJZ, NewJeans, whose meteoric rise has been anything but ordinary, now standing shoulder to shoulder with names that took a decade to reach similar heights. To understand why this ranking caused such a stir, you have to understand what BTS represents. For over a decade, BTS has been more than a group, they've been a benchmark. Their presence on global charts, streaming platforms, brand reputation indexes, and international popularity rankings has been so consistent that many fans stopped asking if they would lead, only by how much. Even during periods of reduced group activity, individual projects, and mandatory military service, BTS's popularity metrics continued to defy gravity. Streaming numbers stayed high. Search volume remained massive. The ARMY fandom stayed as organized and passionate as ever. So when this new popularity ranking showed BTS in a position that felt less absolute, it triggered a deeper question. Was this a decline, or was the industry finally catching up? At the same time, NJZ's name leapt off the page. NewJeans debuted into a crowded K-pop generation, yet somehow managed to feel completely new. Their sound, their visual identity, and their effortless cultural resonance made them impossible to ignore. In an era driven by short-form content, algorithmic discovery, and global youth culture, NJZ didn't just perform well, they fit perfectly. Their songs traveled fast, crossed language barriers with ease, and embedded themselves into daily life in a way that felt organic rather than forced. This ranking captured that reality. NJZ wasn't just doing well for a young group. They were outperforming expectations on a global scale. Streaming, digital engagement, brand influence, and international search trends all pointed in the same direction. And suddenly, the narrative shifted from rising rookies to generation-defining contenders. As fans debated the meaning of the results, analysts pointed out something crucial. This wasn't a simple popularity contest. The ranking weighed multiple factors: long-term global recognition, current digital impact, cross-market presence, and cultural relevance. In other words, it wasn't about who had the loudest fans on one platform, it was about who was shaping the conversation right now. That's where the story deepens. Halfway through the discussions, a surprising realization began to spread. BTS and NJZ weren't in competition in the way people first assumed. Instead, they represented two different eras of influence coexisting in the same moment. BTS embodied sustained global dominance, the power of legacy, loyalty, and trust built over years. NJZ represented momentum, the raw speed at which culture now moves, and how quickly a group can become globally essential. This was the twist no one expected. The ranking wasn't signaling the fall of a legend or the crowning of a replacement. It was revealing a transition point in K-pop history. A moment where the industry no longer belongs to one generation at a time, but to multiple forces operating simultaneously. Fans who initially felt defensive began to reflect. ARMYs pointed out that BTS achieving this level of influence for so long is unprecedented, regardless of ranking position. Bunnies celebrated NJZ's success while acknowledging the path that groups like BTS paved before them. And casual observers, those outside the fandom bubble, saw something even bigger, proof that K-pop's global popularity isn't shrinking or stagnating. It's expanding. The shock, then, wasn't about numbers. It was about perspective.